Hello everybody and welcome to the Sunday race preview for the 2020 Eiffel Grand Prix. Our usual pre-race build-up before the main race later on today. Let's start off with taking a look at the drivers and the Constructors Championship. After 7 years away from the Grand Prix calendar, Formula 1 returns to one of the most thrilling and challenging tracks. Welcome to the Nürburgring in Germany for the Eiffel Grand Prix. This weekend, it is the 11th round of the season. Following this, in 2 weeks' time, we have the Portuguese Grand Prix at the Algarve, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. A week later, a two-day event, the 31st to the 1st of November. Turkey, 2 weeks' time, on the 13th to the 15th of November, now without fans in attendance. 2 races in Bahrain, the second called the Shakir race, that's in early December, and the season rounds out on the 13th of December in Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton leads the championship, 205 points to Valtteri Bottas on 161. Max Verstappen is on 128, but the midfield battle is where it's at. Norris on 65, Albon 64, Ricciardo 63, Leclerc and Stroll on 57, Perez on 56 and Gasly on 45. On the second page, it's Carlos Sainz on 41 points. Esteban Ocon is 36. As Megan said, quite shocking for Sebastian Vettel to just have 17 points on the board. Then Kvyat 14th on 14 points. Hülkenberg still strong in 15th place on those 6 points. 2 apiece for Alfa Romeo's Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. 1 for Magnussen and no points on the board for Latifi, Russell or Grosjean. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes leads the way, 366 points. More double clear to Red Bull's 192. McLaren, Racing Point, Renault are in a midfield battle on themselves, 106, 104 and 99. Ferrari battling AlphaTauri, 74 and 59. Alfa Romeo in a personal battle with Haas over 8th and 9th. And Williams still yet to go off the marks with no points. It's the 2020 Eiffel Grand Prix here at the Nürburgring, and this is your Sunday race preview. It's a wonderful circuit here at the Nürburgring for the Eiffel Grand Prix, the 4th different name this track has ever held to hold a Grand Prix. Let's take a look around it now on Assetto Corsa. Let's take a look around the Nürburgring in Germany, a clockwise circuit, 5.148 kilometers long. It is a hard and abrasive circuit. Coming into the Rtl Curve, the last corner on the track, good to get an important exit as you fly mid-part through the track, down the start-finish straight, open up the DRS and hurtle across this control line before the start line of the pit lane exit. Heavy braking zone for turn 1, all the way down from 8th gear to 1st gear, a tight right-hander as you come into the Castrol section, used to be of course the Mercedes arena. Turns 2 and 3 want to spit you out wide. Understeer, a massive problem at this part of the track, but it sort of all tightens up nicely as you come into turn 4 and rejoin the original revamped circuit. You can see how tight the track gets and narrow as you head, hopefully flat out, all the way down into turn 5 and 6. Banked part of the track, good traction as you come flying through the Ford curve. Downhill now, maximum of 8th gear, flat out into the braking zone for turn 7 of the Dunlop curve. Michael Schumacher and Juan Pablo Montoya had a moment here, and that's why there's an extra runoff in the part of the track where Schumacher went off. Uphill now towards turn 8 and 9 when Hamilton crashed in 2007 in qualifying. Luckily he was okay to take part in that crazy race. Flying downhill now to the Rtl Curve at turn 10. Back part of the track once again, filters downhill immediately into the bit curve before opening up for the second DRS detection point on this lap, past the old Nordschleife on the left and fly uphill towards the Michael Schumacher S's chicane, which he helped design after passing a Lacey for the victory in 1995. Hard on the brake, first gear corner, important to get a good exit, rising up once again to the Coca-Cola curve. The car immediately wants to spit you out wide, control it, back on now to the actual track and across the start line. The Nürburgring is a demanding circuit, not just the Nordschleife, but the track that was recreated in 1984 always provides interesting and great races. Right, let's get straight into what happened then in qualifying for the Eiffel Grand Prix. And as ever, we will start off with the first part of qualifying, and what a qualifying it was to go into as well. The news that Verstappen went quickest earlier on, but it was Nico Hülkenberg who decided that he could take over from Lance Stroll, who was feeling unwell. Not COVID-related, thankfully, but the symptoms meant that it kept him out of qualifying. So Hülkenberg went in and made a dash for the track when the pit lane exit went green. Racing Point superb stop, keen to get back up to speed in the car after not being in since Silverstone, of course, for the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, where he qualified third on the grid. With Friday having a witness no running, Hülkenberg have effectively only missed 1 hour of practice going forward as well for the rest of the cars. So qualifying one was very, very dramatic. Everybody, and when I say everybody, I really mean everybody, was severely disadvantaged in the first part of qualifying. Romain Grosjean went out P16. The Frenchman had a lap deleted for track limits at turn 4, and that was also a running theme throughout the race of qualifying. Knocked out there in the first part of the session was Romain Grosjean, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. They were looking so strong throughout the first part of qualifying, but ultimately they couldn't make it throughout the rest. Kimi Raikkonen and according to this, Nicholas Latifi once again as well. But Antonio Giovinazzi scored his first Q2 appearance of the year. Both Ferraris continued as well, but it was a disappointing run out here at the end of qualifying 1. Moving on then to qualifying 2, Vettel drops out in front of his home fans. Fans allowed at this Grand Prix, and Sebastian Vettel unfortunately being dropped out of the running order. He fell right down into 11th place as well. It was going to be either him or Charles Leclerc eliminated, both in the drop zone throughout the race. The experiment though was called off in the final run of Q2. The experiment being that most of the teams decided to go with the medium compound tyre, but that had to be abandoned. It was just too cold and proved too much as a disadvantage to start the race on the cold tyres. Everyone starting the race on the soft tyres later on. Despite Ferrari's promising Q1, it wasn't good enough. 5th place for Q3 for Charles Leclerc. It got him through in the end, but Sebastian Vettel, his teammate, unfortunately didn't and was eliminated along with Pierre Gasly, Danny Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi and Kevin Magnussen, all meeting the maker. Moving on to qualifying 3, Valtteri Bottas, 3rd pole of the season, and Charles Leclerc manages to start P4 on the grid. I think that's an impressive run going forward. The first flying lap to Q3 made for tasty viewing. Verstappen lapping fastest, 600ths quicker than Bottas and 800ths quicker than Hamilton. It really was a surprise to see that running up the order. Verstappen, though, did top Q1, couldn't top going forward for qualifying 3 on the second run. He was out of it as well. Hamilton, the first of the front runners across the line, and a 1:25.525 was quick enough until Valtteri Bottas came over and denied Hamilton pole position for the 97th time in his career. So 1:25.269. 2.5 tenths clear of Hamilton. It's Valtteri Bottas on pole position for the Grand Prix here today. So let's take a look at how they line up on the grid then. Valtteri Bottas on pole position. Alongside him is his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Below that, we see Max Verstappen alongside Charles Leclerc, Alexander Albon and Daniel Ricciardo on the 3rd row. Row 4, Esteban Ocon and Lando Norris. The 5th row, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. Row 6 sees Sebastian Vettel on home soil alongside Pierre Gasly. Danny Kvyat is 13th alongside Antonio Giovinazzi. On the 7th row, the 8th row, Kevin Magnussen and Romain Grosjean, all Haas affair. Drop further down, the 9th row sees George Russell and Nicholas Latifi. And it is Kimi Raikkonen starting 19th, but Nico Hülkenberg, the other German on the grid for his home race, starts in 20th. So, it is going to be a fascinating Grand Prix. We are live, yes, live on YouTube at 12:30 UK time for all of the coverage. We cannot wait to be with you. It's going to be a cracker. Join us 12:30 UK time for all of the action, for the watch along. For now, though, we'll see you later. Bye for now.